Well, we've heard from national government, we've heard from the local government in Cape Town. Now, Nasipi Sama, our reporter in Bellville in Cape Town, to hear from the South African National Taxi Council. Nasipi, good afternoon to you. What word from them this afternoon?
Well, Stephen, interesting developments throughout the course of the day following that stay away announced by Santaco last week, Wednesday. And with just a few hours ago, the announcement by the minister, however, the city of Cape Town saying that they're sticking to their guns and obviously saying that they are indeed implementing the NLTA accordingly. The complete opposite of what the minister said not too long ago. But to talk to us more in regards to not only the reaction by the minister, but the city of Cape Town as well, I'm joined by Unceba, who is the first deputy of Santaco in the province. So thank you so much for your time. But talk to us about your reaction in regards to what has transpired in the last few hours from both the minister and the city of Cape Town.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon to you and the viewers at home. Firstly, let me explain that yesterday we were here up until 12 o'clock this morning with the Minister of National and Provincial MEC together with their staff. We decided in that meeting that we should be meeting today at 1 o'clock because the Director General of our provincial MEC requested that they need to consult. So we gave them that request, go ahead. So we're expecting them to be here at 1 o'clock. But unfortunately, we are still here now without them. Let me explain the confusion that is out there. We've got two legislation. We've got National Land Transport Act and we've got National Road Traffic Act, which are totally different from one another. And the impoundable offenses are enshrined in the National Land Transport Act. And it's only 3 of them. One is if your vehicle does not have operating license. That vehicle is impoundable. If the driver does not have PRTP and driver's license, it is impoundable. If the vehicle is not roadworthy, it is impoundable. It's only those 3 offenses that the traffic law enforcement can then impound your vehicle. But all the other things are enshrined in the National Road Traffic Act, which then says the traffic officer can only issue you with a fine or can arrest the driver where they see the seriousness of the offense. For example, if the driver is driving under intoxicated, then that driver should be arrested and be issued with a fine instead of impounding my van. So that is where the impasse is, because the city of Cape Town together with the Department of Transport, they are forcing us to sign a document where we will be binding ourselves with offenses that are not impoundable. And that is what we are not prepared to do, because we are saying that we are free to sign a document which indicates those 3 offenses that are enshrined in the National Land Transport Act.
With the current impasse, you mentioned that yesterday the meeting was held. You only spoke of national and provincial government. You made no mention of the city of Cape Town. What is then the way forward? I mean, it's obviously government, which is all 3 spheres, and the taxi industry that is supposed to reach a resolve in this regard.
The challenges that we are faced with, one, we will say, is being undermined by the city of Cape Town, because J.P. Smith and Rob Quintas were supposed to be part of the meeting that materialized yesterday, and they were not part of the meeting, and we did not get apology from them, Since the minister, meaning the MEC, could not take a decision because he was always consulting. We started that meeting early yesterday, up until 12 o'clock. And the main thing was that we were saying that they must remove those offenses that are enshrined in the National Road Traffic Act because they are not impoundable offenses, and that's what they don't want to do.
This stay away obviously has had a devastating impact not only on commuters but various sectors. Did Santaco take into account the impact that this will have on commuters, including the possibility of protest action?
We consulted the community leaders when we took a decision on that particular Thursday. And the decision, or an immediate decision to embark on a stay away, was attributed on what happened on the station deck. Hence, we therefore took an immediate decision to go on a stay away. We are very sorry and distancing ourselves in what is happening out there. We feel sorry about that, and hence we sacrificed yesterday and we're here up until very late because we're hoping that we will sign and let our vehicles go on the road today. But unfortunately, because of JP not being here or ignoring us, and also Rob Quintas ignoring us, so we couldn't. So that is where the problem is now. If they can arrive here as we're waiting for them and we agree on these impoundable offenses, then our vehicle will be on the road.
So what does this mean for the current stay away, which we understand that taxi operators will resume services or operations on the 10th of August? Seeing that there's this impasse and it does not seem like both the government and the taxi industry will be meeting on common ground, does this mean that the strike, or the stay away rather, continues beyond the 9th of August?
Correctly. Tomorrow we are going to call a meeting and inform our members. They are the ones who are going to mandate us about the way forward. We cannot predict now what will transpire in that meeting, but that will be the meeting which will give us a clear direction as to what to do next.
You're condemning violence in various communities where we saw protest action erupting in the recent days. However, just yesterday, a number of taxi operators arrested for blockading the N2, taking into account what was said last week by Santaco that minibus taxis are to be parked in people's garages or homes or at the taxi rank. However, yesterday morning, we saw a completely different picture.
Correct. That is attributed to the frustration that is out there, I would say, of the drivers, because nobody from Santaco instructed such a conduct. But we just heard that there are taxis that are blocking the N2 and that there are drivers who were shot and killed. Some are in hospital as we speak. 42 of them are in a jail as we speak. 2 people died there. They were shot by law enforcement. And since we are still busy now trying to resolve this issue, we are still here. We have not even visited those families, but they are in our hearts. So we did not instruct the drivers, but the drivers went there because of frustration and out of the statements that are constantly being issued by the city of Cape Town.
We will have to leave it there. By the first deputy chairperson of Santaco in the Western Cape. reacting to the recent developments, including the statements by local government and the fact that they too remain in limbo in regards to what is going to be happening next, seeing that the impasse continues between government and the taxi industry, and the fact that they have not reached some sort of resolve in regards to the impoundment of minibus taxis. We do also understand that as much as the stay away by the industry was due to come to a close tomorrow and services to resume on the 10th of August, at this present moment we're still unsure whether or not that decision by the industry still stands, taking into account that they are yet, or rather waiting for government's update in regards to their demands, and also the fact that they will be meeting industry players in the taxi industry to find out whether or not they are satisfied with the response from government for them to resume services on the 10th of August.
Sindisiwe, thank you very much indeed. So much more to look at in the taxi strike. So many developments on that today.